Harry Maguire is being sold to West Ham. The nightmare is over. Manchester United fans can breathe again. It's done. We're all right. He's gone. £80 million down the drain. Well, 50 considering we're selling him for 30. But we don't really like those maths, do we? Oh my lord, it's over. We need to look at this though. Because let's face it, Harry Maguire had so much potential when he came to Manchester United. He was being considered a world-class centre-back in 2019. And apparently the theatre of dreams has been a theatre of nightmares for the man with the big head. So like this video and let's get into it. When United first bought Maguire, he had come off 2 really good seasons with Leicester and an incredible World Cup run with England, a run that he was vital in and had scored quite a few goals. He might have only scored 1 goal actually. But anyway, he was incredible, a genuine Rolls Royce at the back. He was commanding the back line, winning headers, strong tackles, exactly what you come to expect from a traditional English centre-back. He was a throwback. We liked him. And that's why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer forked out £18 million for him in the summer of 2019. A world record for a defender. And a record, despite today's inflated prices, still hasn't been broken. Rasmus Højlund scored 20 goals and has gone for 70 million, but the defender, Harry Maguire, still hasn't had a higher price for, like Gvardiol or even bloody Ake or Akanji. They're all better players than him, but Maguire still costs more. Maybe that shows how much Manchester United actually wanted him, or it just shows how bad they are at negotiations. But he had potential, he came in, and he played well for that first season. He didn't play like an 80 million signing, he didn't play world class, we're not going to argue about that. But of course he got the captaincy within the first few games and he played a decent season. And then his second season was even better. They finished second that season and he was commanding. He showed that he had those leadership skills that we thought might have been lacking in the first season, and he was starting to prove himself. Again, still not a world-class player. And then he went to Euros and oh my God, he was phenomenal in the Euros. And everybody was like, yeah, that's our captain, that is. That is our captain. And do you remember that penalty he scored in the final? Everybody was really worried when he stepped up to take it, but he smashed it. Absolutely smashed it in the top right-hand corner. And all of a sudden, Harry Maguire was our hero. And that's when the cracks began to appear. After the Euros, he seemed to have lost the dressing room. Obviously, Sancho came in, Ronaldo came in. So that idea that he was the big man kind of went away from him. He couldn't command the dressing room like he could before because literally one of the greatest players of all time, he was supposed to be telling him what to do, and that, you know, Ronaldo, that's not going to happen, is it? So already there's cracks in his leadership. Then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer remembers that he can't actually be a football manager. Like, he can't do it. He's not a great tactician. So it was just slaughtering after slaughtering each week, and Harry Maguire's game lost a lot of confidence. Do we not remember how many mistakes he was making? Constantly bad passes back to the goalkeeper, back from the back line. He couldn't command Varane, who was a far better player than he was. And ultimately, he was just a bit shit. He constantly was caught out of position. He was too slow to get back. And I think he scored like 3 or 4 own goals, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, tell me in the comments if I'm mistaken. But I seem to remember every other week it's a Harry Maguire own goal, and you're like, where is this going? And once that gets started, especially in a culture like Manchester United, when there is such a media frenzy and everybody's talking about you, I mean, we're talking about him right now, it's hard to click out of it if you are not that elite level player. So it just started compiling, and then we get to Ralf Rangnick and we start having some of the worst losses of the Premier League era. It was terrible. It was horrendous. And Manchester United captain is supposed to take responsibility during all that. And Harry Maguire was constantly deflecting blame onto other people. He wasn't taking ownership or taking responsibility. He was blaming other things, other factors. And it just showed that he wasn't quite ready for that honour, and he wasn't quite a Manchester United player. He didn't seem to love it. He didn't seem to bleed red. And then comes Erik ten Hag, the Messiah, the man that was going to lead Manchester United out of the quagmire and into glory, and hopefully take Maguire's career along with it. But did that happen? Absolutely not. They got hounded by Brighton in the first game of the season and then got absolutely destroyed by Brentford in the second game of the season. And that saw the Manchester United captain benched for most of the season. You've got Lindelof playing instead of Martinez when he was injured, or Varane when he was injured. Maguire was literally the fourth string centre-back for most of Erik ten Hag's first season. They didn't take the captaincy away because it didn't matter. He wasn't playing anyway. Bruno Fernandes was actually the captain, but Maguire was the captain in name. It wasn't recoverable after Erik ten Hag came, because he made the decision very quickly and Maguire had to go this summer. Yes, there was some debate whether Maguire was actually going to go this summer. Apparently he wanted to stay, but I think that was only because of the money. Because let's face it, who can pay that sort of wages at any other club? Only Chelsea or Man City could afford that, and we've kind of established that Maguire isn't ready for that level yet. He might never be now, considering he's getting on a bit, but West Ham have found him. West Ham have quite a bit of money. They're not poor, and now he actually gets to play at the level he probably deserves to be at. And I think this move is going to be the best move we could possibly have seen for Harry Maguire. Manchester United needed to get him off the books. I mean, for FFP reasons, sure, but it was also becoming a really toxic relationship. But also for Harry Maguire, he was under so much pressure. He'd been booed by his own fans in his final game for Manchester United, where again, it was pre-season the other week, Bilbao, he gave the ball away, it's a goal. Then every time he touched the ball, he was getting slated, he was getting booed. That's never a nice feeling for a Manchester United player. For any player in any game around the world, to get booed by your own fans must be heart-wrenching. But that's the case, that's the position he was in. So he had to go. He understood that he had to go. And I think it's going to be really good for him. The pressure's off. He doesn't have to be world class anymore. He just needs to go back to being what he already was. A solid, sturdy, strong, big header English centre-back for West Ham, a very English bloody team. He's going to play well for West Ham. I hope that they don't give him the captaincy. I've heard that apparently he's going to be made captain straight away. I think we've pretty much proven that he can't do it. But anyway, that's David Moyes' decision. I'm a Manchester United fan. I know what David Moyes' decisions are like. So I wish Harry Maguire all the best. I think Manchester United fans are going to be very happy with this move, although it's still a bit of bitter taste in the mouth that we've lost 50 million on it. I think Harry Maguire is going to be very happy with this move. He's going to get out of that spotlight, get into a decent team and get them back up the table after a bad season last season. I think Erik ten Hag's going to be very, very happy because Harry Maguire is not the type of centre-back he would ever have chosen for his team, but he was kind of strapped in to keep him in along because they paid so much money for him. So I think this is a good move all around. Leave down in the comments your favourite Harry Maguire memory. There's a few funny ones. Please like the video, and if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. It helps us out so much. Thank you very much and see you later.